So you find just the right house. You make an offer on it only to have the seller accept a competing offer. No! Today we're talking about how to make an offer on a house and 5 tips for getting your offer accepted. Welcome back. I'm Angela Lockett of Lockett Realty Advisors and Keller Williams Realty West Partners. If this is your first time here and you find this information helpful, consider subscribing to my channel by hitting that subscribe button down below and click on the bell icon to turn on the notifications so that you never miss one of my weekly posts. Today we're talking about how to make an offer on a house and 5 tips for getting your offer accepted in the seller's market. If you're a buyer in a seller's market, these are 5 tips that you really want to know. Number 1, be financially prepared. Put yourself in the mind of a seller. The seller's worst nightmare is accepting an offer that wastes their time and money because the buyer in the end can't close and they end up having to put their house back on the market. So you want to do everything you can to convince the seller that your offer is the strongest offer. Of course, you'll need to submit a pre-approval letter with your offer, but beyond that, you'll stand out from other buyers if your lender can go beyond the standard pre-approval and provide full underwriting approval up front. By doing this, you'll give the seller confidence that your financing isn't going to fall apart. You see, price isn't everything. Many times the seller will accept a sure offer over a higher offer if the higher offer doesn't seem quite as solid. The seller will also be comparing your offer to others in terms of the money you will pay out of pocket, whether you can pay your closing costs, the amount of your down payment, and the amount of your earnest money deposit. The more money you can pay out of pocket, the stronger the seller will perceive your offer to be. A 5% down payment is actually more compelling than 3.5% down. And instead of an earnest money deposit of 1%, 2 or 3% definitely makes a positive impression. Think about this. Spending more money out of pocket won't cost you more in the long run, since all of this money ultimately goes toward the purchase of your house. Number 2, write a clean offer. A clean offer is simply an offer that is simple and straightforward with minimal contingencies. Contingencies are in the contract to give you, the buyer, a legal right to be released from the contract under certain circumstances. But remember, the seller wants to go with the buyer who represents the least amount of risk, not just the highest price. There are 3 contingencies in the residential sale contract that I wouldn't recommend you remove: inspections, financing, and appraisal. But keep in mind how your agent and you handle them could still make a big difference to the seller. Beyond those 3, you don't want to add contingencies to the contract. In the seller's mind, you're simply adding escape hatches to get out of it. A contract with additional contingencies is sure to turn off a seller looking at multiple offers. If you have to write an offer contingent on the closing of your current home, then be sure to sweeten the deal in other ways so that the positives in your offer outweigh that one negative. If you want to buy a very desirable house that has a lot of interest from other buyers as well, you should also avoid asking for seller concessions, which are things that the buyer asks the seller to pay for, like a home warranty or closing costs. If you don't have the cash to cover closing costs and you need to have them included in the purchase, then make sure that the net amount that the seller will be receiving is still competitive. Number 3, personalize your offer. Writing a short letter telling the sellers what you love about the house will personalize your offer and remind the sellers that a real estate transaction is about people and their lives. There's a lot of emotion involved in the sale of a house, and sellers like knowing that the next owner of their home will love it as much as they have. By sharing who you are and why you want to buy the house, the sellers just might be persuaded that the house is uniquely suited to you and your family, and that by accepting your offer, not only will they be selling their house, but they'll be doing their part to make the world a better place. Number 4, accommodate the seller. Your agent should be in communication with the listing agent to find out as much as they can about the seller's motivation. Is the seller looking for a quick close? Maybe they've taken a job in another state. Or do they need you to give them a little more time than is typically expected because their new construction has had some setbacks and they don't know when their new house is going to be ready? If you can be flexible in your closing date, make sure you use that to your advantage. You could also shorten the time you request for inspections and for getting your loan commitment. Instead of waiting 10 days to complete your inspections, you could shorten that to 7 days. All you'd have to do is schedule the general home inspection immediately after you're under contract, and that way, if the home inspector flags something that needs to be looked at by a specific contractor like roofing or foundation or HVAC, you will still have time to get those additional inspections completed. Number 5, make your best offer. Make your first offer your best offer. If you're going after a hot property and competing against other buyers, don't test the waters by writing a low offer to see if the seller might go for it. Make your best offer right out of the chute. If there are multiple offers, you don't want to lose the house if you knew up front that you would have been willing to pay just a little more. The listing agent may have actually listed the house below market value as a strategy to spark a lot of interest and get the house sold quickly. If the comps justify it, you might even need to offer above list price to get the house. A savvy buyer's agent will be able to provide comps and give you guidance in this strategy. Obviously, this isn't always appropriate, even if it means not getting your offer accepted. You need to know the market, know what you are willing to offer, and then make your best offer. In the end, if you don't get the house, you'll know that you gave it your best shot, and you can be certain there will always be more houses coming on the market. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like my help in buying a house, go ahead and reach out to me. My contact information is in the description box down below. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share this post with someone you think could be helped by it. If you need a realtor in the St. Louis area, I'm right here in St. Charles County. Just give me a call. If you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to turn on notifications so that you never miss one of my weekly posts. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.